Evening, everyone. My name is Stephen Venuti. I'm the town treasurer. And on behalf of the Trust Fund Commissioners, I'd like to welcome you to our 8th annual Kimball Morrison Scholarship Awards presentation. It may be our 8th annual, but as you'll hear in just a bit, the Kimball Fund has been giving out scholarships for over 24 years. So we've been giving out a lot of money over the years, and we're excited to do this every year. We usually have this presentation down in the town offices. It's a little bit different this year because of the circumstances of the past 3 months. We had to find a new way to operate here, and we'll try to make this work as best we can. Everybody has control over their microphones. You can unmute as you'd like. When we get to the presentation piece, we ask everybody to unmute their mics so they can show the support for the students as they get it, and we can hoot and holler and do all the applause that we need to do. I'd like to make some introductions before we start. I'll start with the Trust Fund Commissioners. We have Dave Stevens. As I introduce you, if you can wave so we can see you come in. Dave Stevens is the chairman of the Trust Fund Commissioners. Tyler Gray is a Trust Fund Commissioner. And Andrew Samarco. We have the awards selection committee. These are the guys who do all the work. We have Larry Wenz, Joe Gaffney, Fred Faulkner, and Steve Gentili. And also joining us tonight, I can see we have Nina Nazarian, who's the town administrator. We have Cheryl Stella, who is the finance director. And I can see John Harrington. Everybody knows John. He's the principal of the high school. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dave Stevens.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Good evening. Welcome to everyone. Congratulations to all the scholarship winners. It's great to see everyone, albeit virtually. My name is Dave Stevens, and as Steve said, I'm the chair for the Trust Fund Commissioners. I'd like to take a moment to tell you a little bit about the trust funds, how they support the town, and what the role of the Trust Fund Commissioner is relative to the funds. The scholarships that are being handed out tonight come from the FM Kimball and the Morrison Fund, which are two funds within the Trust Fund. The total Trust Fund is made up of about 30 separate funds, which represent specific donations that have been made to the town over time. Each fund has a specific focus or intent that the donor requested to support within the town. In addition to the FM Kimball and Morrison funds, which were both discrete donations for scholarships to benefit the residents of Littleton, the other funds, the donors requested to support areas like the schools within Littleton or the Littleton Trust Scholarship. There's also several funds that are in support of the library. We have one for the cemetery and two for the Lyceum. And if you've ever happened to pick up an annual report, there's a section in the report every year for the Trust Fund Commission. And any of their reports, you can see the trust listed out, and you'll see names, along with FM Kimball and Morrison. You'll see Doris Warren Education Fund, Jay Goldsmith Common School, A. Tuttle Lyceum, L. Johnson High School, just to name a few of them. These are all funds that were created by individuals that donated back to the town, and they had specific intent to support the town based upon the way their trusts were set up. So as a trust fund commissioner, our main responsibility is really to honor the intent of what the donors desired with their trust. There's several things that we need to do mechanically in order to achieve this. First and foremost, for all the funds that make up the trust, we have an investment policy that spells out what our goals are, and it's very simple in terms of the goal is to maintain and potentially grow the principal balance of what was donated, with certainly a low risk, and ensure that there's sufficient income from the investment each year to fund the donors initiative. So to achieve this, we work with an investment advisor who actually, invests all the funds, and they execute according to that policy. And then we meet with them on a quarterly basis to make sure that everything is on track. And then finally, at the end of each calendar year, we manage the distribution that comes out of the funds, so that the income earned, and make sure that it gets to the different initiatives that the funds were designed for. So what results out of this stewardship of the trust funds is really quite amazing. If you think about all the donations that have been received in the town that make up the trust fund, it's a principal balance of about $2.2 million. That's grown to well over $5.6 million as of the beginning of this year. And it's generated an average of over $200,000 for the past 5 years. So that $200,000 goes to obviously scholarships, it goes to the schools, it goes to the Lyceum, it goes to the cemetery, it goes to the library. And if we think about, how this has impacted the FM Kimball Fund, it's supported it, and it's now in its 24th year, with 235,000 in scholarships that have been handed out, which is actually twice what the initial donation was back in 1996. And it's issued scholarships to 149 people. The Morrison Fund, which is only in its 7th year, has handed out over 255,000 in scholarships, which again, for a short period of time, that's more than half what the initial donation was, and it's reached to 45 different recipients. So before I turn it over to Larry, who's going to give us a little more history on the scholarship fund founders, Vincent Cooper and John and Eunice Morrison, I first want to thank Steve Venuti, our treasurer, who helps support the trust fund commissioners all throughout the year and helps us work with our investment advisor and coordinates everything for us. And as always, make sure that this event happens every year, whether it's live and in person or live online. I also want to thank the selection committee. As Steve said, they're the ones that do the real work and put in the hours going through the applications and the interviews, and they ultimately nominate the award recipients. So thank you to all of you. Now I'll turn it over to Larry to give us some history on the fund creators.
Okay, to supplement what Dave just said, I also have a few words, some acknowledgments to make. First, a word of thanks to the Commissioners of Trust for their continued stewardship of the trust funds in your care. These funds not only provide scholarships, but grants for numerous other functions in town, as David outlined. Second, a thank you to my colleagues on the selection committee for the thoughtful consideration given to all of the applicants and the deliberations held to identify the scholarship recipients. Finally, thank you to Cindy Philippe in the Treasurer's Office, who provides invaluable administrative organization and support for our selection committee. Her efforts make our life a lot easier. We are without a doubt living in uncertain times. The turbulence we witness can smack us with both fear and hope for the future. Tonight's ceremony is the positive outcome of 3 individuals who came of age during an equally uncertain time, and is testimony to all who believe in a better and brighter future. This gathering is the visible result of a future envisioned by 3 individuals who came of age and were shaped by the Great Depression and a world war. They recognized the value of education, work ethic, community service, and civic involvement. Their philanthropy to establish the FM Kimball II and the John and Eunice Morrison scholarships demonstrates their commitments to these ideals. So exactly who were these people? Vincent Cooper was a lifelong resident of Littleton. He was born on the family farm located on Great Road and was literally a man of the dirt. A passionate career in agriculture started with his graduation from Littleton High School as the salutatorian and continued with undergraduate studies at what is now UMass Amherst and graduate studies at Virginia Tech. This learned background in entomology and geology enabled Mr. Cooper to develop his craft as a proud farmer on the homestead and in Georgia and Florida during numerous winters. He was awarded several patents for his efforts. John Morrison was born in Stoneham, Mass., graduated from high school sources to continue his studies. Subsequently, Morrison learned the skill sets of carpentry and production management at a large construction company. Following military service during World War II, he went to work for the Bowen Construction Company in the Boston area and eventually became a principal in field operations with that company. Upon his retirement, an interest in agriculture led him to Littleton, where he purchased an orchard located on Nagog Hill Road. Little is known of Eunice Morrison's life story. She was John's second wife and lived and worked at the orchard with him. Eunice was a frequent patron at the Reuben Hoare Library and was a benefactor for numerous library functions. She is most noted for her tireless efforts to ensure that the orchard be preserved as town-owned property with conservation restrictions. It is now the last operating orchard in town. It's abundantly clear that the Morrisons and Vincent Cooper had an appreciation for the past and an eye to the future. For example, the Morrisons focused on the preservation of the orchard, Cooper providing funds to help with the restoration of the bell tower on the campus at UMass. For the Morrisons, and especially Cooper, there was an underlying support for the public library as a repository and disseminator of knowledge and a source of cultural enrichment. This support was recognized by the library trustees through the naming of a room after him. As young college students, both men faced the financial burden of meeting school expenses. Both of them had to confront the reality of not having the personal resources to continue their studies. Cooper's uncle saw something in his nephew that would be lost should he depart from college. And fortunately for Vincent, his relative was able to financially assist him. John Morrison, however, did not have such a benefactor and had to discontinue his undergraduate studies. For those people in Littleton who knew Vincent and John, the two men are most commonly described as quote unquote characters. Cooper preferred to go barefoot, even in the winter. Morrison preferred to speak his mind first and still not say sorry afterwards. There is some irony to the story in that the multi-generational Cooper homestead is now a housing development called Cooper Farm, and the orchard purchased by the newbie Morrison is still an agricultural endeavor. The F.M. Kimball Second Scholarship was created by Vincent Cooper to honor and duplicate the opportunity that was provided to him. The Morrison Scholarship was created to reward a deserving individual with an educational opportunity that Morrison did not experience. The life stories written by John and Eunice Morrison and Vincent Cooper can be summarized by a quest for excellence, a thirst for knowledge, lifelong learning, civic involvement, and giving back to the community. In their own way, F.M. Kimball, Vincent Cooper, John and Eunice Morrison found a way to touch the future and provide a model for all of us to emulate. Each of the individuals receiving an award today have demonstrated academic achievement, service, and a vision of their future. These awards are granted to acknowledge current accomplishments as well as future potential. The selection committee and commissioners of trust are honored to recognize the scholarship recipients. Much has been and will be said of the turbulent times we're currently experiencing. There is an awakening to a new dawn, a new light that will illuminate a future that is in the making. Some lyrics written by Paul Simon fit the moment. Quote, "I believe that the light that shines on you will shine forever. I'm going to watch you shine, going to watch you grow. In your own way, go and shape the future and keep the light on." Okay.
Thank you, Larry. Before we get to the presentations, I just want to make one more introduction. He kind of snuck in there and I didn't see him. Kelly Clenchy superintendent of the Littleton Public School Systems, has joined us tonight. Just want to mention before we give the awards out, is we had 86 applications this year, and we're giving out 13 awards to people. So the students that are getting awards tonight should be very proud. They were the top of the class, and very well deserved from what I see. I had the privilege of sitting in on all the interviews that you guys did this year. It was the first time I've done that. It was very interesting. You all did a really good job. I was very proud of you. School systems are doing a fine job, put it that way. I'm going to turn it over back to Larry, and he's going to start off the presentations. We're going to read a little bio of everyone. Ask people to unmute their mics so we can all applaud and hoot and holler, like I said, after each award. Thank you.
Okay. Just now that we're unmuted. Okay, we're going to start with Elizabeth Estep. Elizabeth, want to wave to everyone? Elizabeth has continued her undergraduate studies at Bentley University with a double major in corporate finance and accounting and a liberal studies major in global perspectives. She's a prior year recipient of a Morrison Scholarship and has maintained her Dean's List grade point average. She's also taking advantage of college life with a participation in the College Activity Board, a competitive hip hop team, and a sorority with a mission statement that matches her own personal goals. She's been accepted in the Women's Leadership Program and is deeply committed to the expansion of women in corporate leadership positions. Elizabeth would eventually like to obtain an MBA and become a high-powered CFO or CEO. So watch out, world. To Elizabeth Estep. All right. Next would be Morgan Mayo. Morgan, you know, wave to everyone too. There you go. Morgan has been an undergraduate student at Worcester State University, majoring in communication sciences and disorders. She also is a prior year Morrison Scholarship recipient and has achieved a 3.50 grade point average, which is testimony to her ability to develop personal strategies that enable her to succeed. Morgan's also active in taking advantage of opportunities that college life provides. She hopes to continue professional development in a graduate program in speech and language pathology. Morgan is a compassionate and caring individual who wants to work with special needs children and gentlemen, desires to return to do just that in the Littleton Public Schools. Okay, this is Morgan. Okay, next is Christina Monterez. Christina?
Yeah.
Here we go. Christina has completed her second year of undergraduate studies in fine arts photography at the Savannah College of Art and Design. She's a prior year Morrison Scholarship recipient. She has settled into a wonderful comfort zone on campus that has enabled her to flourish as an artist and a student. In her studies, she has been named to the Dean's List while learning to master high-level technical photographic techniques. Christina has a close circle of friends who provide academic, artistic, and personal support. She would like to earn a graduate degree in photography and eventually work for National Geographic. Christina, congratulations.
Thank you.
And finally, from my list, Tiana Naylor. Oh, come on, Tiana. There you go. Tiana is a recent graduate of Littleton High School and will be starting her undergraduate studies at the University of Mass at Amherst. She will major in bioengineering and will explore the possibilities of becoming an MD. She has excelled in virtually everything she has been involved in. Tiana leaves Littleton High School as one of the top students in her graduating class, and this was accomplished while she was being a three-sports athlete for 4 years. Her insightful, practical, and nurturing characteristics, combined with her mastery of time management, will serve her well in the future. Congratulations, Tiana.
Thank you.
Larry, she's also a valedictorian this year, class of 2020.
Oh, congratulations.
Great job, Deanna.
Thank you.
Okay,
I guess
I
that's
will now turn this over to
Steve Gisella.
Stephen.
Coach G. I'm going to start with Angela. Angela Mancuso. Give us a wave, Angela. There she is. Through her photographic artwork, Angela will share her messages and leave her mark on her community. Entering her freshman year at Harcum College outside of Philadelphia, Angela is taking her passion for photography to the classroom and the darkroom. Angela was fortunate to be advised, or perhaps even pushed a bit, as she tells us, to pursue this passion in college by one of her counselors at the Colebrook High School, where she recently graduated from. Angela hopes to own her own photography business someday, and was certain her future is as bright as the flash on her camera. Please join me in congratulating Angela Mancuso on being named a Kimball Morrison Scholarship winner. So the next winner, I think, is our only student to be unable to attend, Lauren Faber. I'll say this about Lauren: a passion to help people in need and a solid focus on a career path that will allow her to live out this passion. Lauren Faber knows what she wants and how she can best add some goodness and positivity to her fellow mankind. This nursing student is a first-time recipient of the Kimball Morrison Scholarship. She is entering her sophomore year at Endicott College, where she holds a 3.5 GPA and is a member of the college's women's lacrosse team. Lauren has already decided that she'll continue her education beyond receiving her nursing degree and become a nurse practitioner. Lauren's strong work ethic in the classroom, at her jobs, and on the lacrosse field make her a well-deserved recipient, and I'm most certain an exceptional nurse. Please join me in congratulating Lauren Faber. Teresa, where are you, Teresa? Oh, there you are, right in the middle of my screen. Through her experiences in college, Teresa has grown as an artist, but she's quick to acknowledge that she's also grown as a person. And it's through this growth that Teresa has developed a passion for the environment, human rights, and humanitarianism. Her goal now is to marry this set of experiences, education, and beliefs into a career in animation design and movie making to tell her stories and make an impact on the world around her. A strong desire to make a positive impact through animation. What an incredible goal. This girl is 20 years old. Can you imagine the impact that Teresa will be making in 5 or 10 years with experience in her industry? Teresa will carry an impressive 3.4 GPA into her third year at the highly competitive Ringley College of Art and Design in Sarasota, Florida. Pay attention, Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks. Here comes an animator with a passion and stories to tell. Congratulations, Teresa.
Thank you so much.
Katie. Where is Katie? I guess different places on different people's screen. Katie Norton. Disability is a word that Katie has had to deal with her entire life as a person with a hearing impairment. But after getting to know Katie over the past few years during this scholarship application interview process, it's pretty clear to me and to the rest of the selection committee that this so-called disability hasn't stopped or slowed Katie in any aspect of her life. In fact, it has propelled her to push herself even further along the way, collaborate and support others with hearing impairments. Katie is entering her junior year at UMass Amherst and is enrolled in the highly competitive Eisenberg School of Business. She is studying business with an aim towards running her own company someday, serving the needs of the deaf and hard of hearing community. Katie shared with us her excitement of joining the UMass powerlifting team and competing for the first time this past January. For sure, Katie is a strong person. That's true inside the weight room, but she demonstrates further strength and competes every day for things that are even heavier, advocating for herself, changing people's perceptions, and redefining that term, disability. Congratulations, Katie Norton.
Thank you.
Rachel.
Hi.
Hi. So I'm going to start talking about Rachel by asking everyone a question. And maybe you know someone or have met someone that consistently puts others before themselves. And I don't mean just once in a while, but all the time, without fail and without hesitation. And if you haven't, let me introduce you to Rachel Kupal. Last year, I had the privilege of sharing some information about this impressive young woman. This marks Rachel's third consecutive Kimball Morrison Scholarship, and no doubt she is a tremendous student, but that only tells us a fraction of who she is. So, how can we learn more? Well, I thought we'd hear from her own words. Compassion is one of the most vital qualities that we must possess to maintain humanity. She goes on to say, I believe in equality, in that everyone deserves an equal chance at health and life. Now consider those two statements in light of what's happening in our country today and around the world. If not for the necessary concern of her family members, Rachel would have been on the front lines of the COVID-19 crisis. I know it pained her not to be able to help, because that's what she does. Rachel aims to become a pediatric nurse and assist the quality of lives of children who endure health issues. Rachel sent the selection committee a thank you note already for this year's award. In the note, she thanked us for the work we do supporting students, and she looks forward to the day when she can pay her appreciation forward. Like I said, always thinking of others first. Congratulations again, Rachel, for being selected for a Kimball Morrison Scholarship. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
I'm going to turn it over to Fred now.
All righty, Steve, you're a tough act to follow. The first individual that I have on my list is Isabella Gardner.
Hi.
Isabella is the venerable veteran of this year's group of scholarship recipients. This is her 5th scholarship award from these funds. She completed her undergraduate studies with a 4.0 GPA from Sacred Heart University. Isabella is presently involved in the physical therapy doctoral program at UMass Lowell, where her 4.0 GPA continues. She's been doing pro bono work at Peak Movement, where she has been working with patients with severe neurological and musculoskeletal conditions. Easy for you to say, not for me to say. Due to the COVID, the start of Isabella's first formal clinical rotation has been delayed. And when we talked to her during the interview, she thought they would be beginning in June. But this evening, prior to the show, she related that it's been pushed out even further. So hopefully the students will be allowed to begin their rotations in the very near future. Isabella continues to be an inspiration as she moves closer to her career in physical therapy. Please join me in congratulating Isabella Gardner.
Thank you.
You're on mute, Fred. Fred, you're on mute.
Yep. Okay, am I back?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, but my next recipient is Madeline Omara. Madeline, where are you? There you go. Great. Madeline, alias Maddie, graduated this year from Littleton High School, achieving a 4.5 plus GPA. During her high school career, she not only excelled academically, but was the go-to member of the basketball team, captain of the band, school representative to the school committee, as well as many other extracurricular activities. Maddie will be entering NYU in the fall to pursue a major in nutritional science along with a minor in either Spanish or French. She plans to follow on with a graduate degree, which will allow her to enter her career as a nutritionist, focusing on English as a second language population. Join me in congratulating Maddie.
Thank you.
Okay, and next is Aaliyah Flockhart. Here you go. Aaliyah is carrying a 4.0 GPA into her sophomore year at the Commonwealth Honors College within UMass Amherst. She is enrolled as a double major in microbiology and public health. Aaliyah's long-term goal is to earn her PhD in immunology and virology, which will allow her to pursue a career in infectious disease research. During her tenure at Littleton High School, Aaliyah volunteered for a myriad of local organizations, including Reuben Hoare Library, and through Girl Scouts supported Littleton Country Gardeners, Shaker Lane School assisting with their social curriculum in Castle on the Trees. In Amherst, she continues her volunteerism while supporting the Stonewall Center, the Microbiology Club, and the LGBTQA Club. Please join me in congratulating Aaliyah. And last, but certainly not least, Sarah Drinkwater. Sarah? Are you there? Sarah is a 2015 graduate of Littleton High School. She attended Stonehill College for her freshman year, where she attained a 3.5 GPA. For the past several years, she has worked at École de Ballet in Littleton, where she has been teaching dance and working in the office. She has continued her dance performance activities through Dance Prism and the On Stage Dance Company. Sarah also works at Tiger's Den, where she has introduced a dance component to the afternoon program. A quote from Sarah's application: "Many of the kids tell me that our, quote, Thursday dance parties, unquote, have become the highlights of their week." In September, Sarah will be entering the Phelps Valadero School of Dance within Dean College, where she will be working toward a Bachelor of Arts in Dance. She plans to move into a career in dance movement therapy. With her passion for dance and her dedication to making kids' lives better, We see only success in Sarah's future. Sarah, congratulations.
Thank you.
With that, turn it back over to Steve.
Thank you, everybody. Congratulations once again to all the recipients. Again, y'all did a tremendous job. One of the things that we weren't able to line up last year, we had a senior, graduating senior come back and just give a little talk to the group. We weren't able to line one up this year, but I'm taking names and now I have your pictures. So we'll be able to get back in touch with you all in a couple of years and ask you to come back and give a little talk about college life and what the new students will be able to expect once they go on their journey. And with that, we'd like to end things. Thanks to everybody for coming in. We like to have the recipients and the trust commissioners and selection committee stay on the call. We're going to try and do a group photo, a Brady Bunch style group photo. So with that, thank you, and we'll see you next year.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks. Just on behalf of the high school, I want to just recognize the students and say congratulations to you all. It's nice to see so many alumni, and also want to thank the commissioners, selection committee, and everybody's involved in this process. Really appreciate it. It's a wonderful time to see everybody. So I wish you all the best and hope to see you soon.
Thank you, John. It's very nice.
Steve, since John jumped in there, I can't help myself. I was holding back, believe it or not, and I just couldn't help myself now that I've heard John speak. I just wanted to mention to everyone, I'm so constantly impressed by the work that you all are doing. This is my second year attending this, and I think I get more impressed every year. I don't know if next year can beat you guys, but phenomenal work, and you guys put me to shame. So thank you for everything you're doing. Keep up the great work, and I know you'll be extremely successful based on what I've heard today.
Thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
I think we've started a chain here. I'd like to congratulate all of the award recipients as well. A very impressive bunch of individuals who are going on to do incredible things. And as the superintendent of schools, I am so proud of all of you. Best wishes as you continue your future journeys.
Thank you, Kelly. And with that, just remind the recipients to stay on the video call, and thank you, everybody else.